The following podcast is sponsored by Synchrony. Ambition lives everywhere. At Synchrony, we believe yours isn't something you just look forward to. It's what you work forward to. That's why we partner with businesses to provide the payment tools and technologies, promotional financing, and retail insights that help give customers the buying power they need. Every day at over 350,000 partner locations, we help people and businesses fulfill their unique ambitions. What are you working forward to? Learn more at synchronyfinancial.com. Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hello, and welcome to episode 149 of Total Retail Talks. I'm Joe Keenan, Executive Editor of Total Retail. Joining me today is Kerry Gibson Morris, Vice President of Merchandising at Zulily, an online retailer focused on bringing its customers special finds every day. We're going to be discussing the merchandising tactics Zulily is using to target specific customer segments, and millennials in particular. Thanks for joining me today, Kerry.
Well, thank you, Joe. I'm really excited to be here. I appreciate the opportunity. You know, Zulily is a really unique online e-commerce platform where we're serving up thousands of new and different products every day that just keeps our customers coming back. And, you know, quite often you want to take that opportunity to explain that because customers might not always understand how we're operating.
Great. Yeah, well, so we're going to dig into a little bit about that product strategy. So let's first talk about Zulily's strategy. I mentioned millennials and in my opening there, but, you know, obviously the customer demographics is not just pertain only to millennials at Zulily, but what's kind of your strategy for targeting specific buying segments via some of your merchandising efforts?
Yeah. Well, you know, Zulily is really different in the sense that, you know, we are an entertainment experience for customers, and that is really what keeps her engaged and keeps her excited and coming back. When you think about kind of hopping on our site, Joe, it is this treasure hunt, and our sales are offering up, you know, thousands of unique products to our customer, and it gives them an opportunity to hunt and search and discover lots of different products. And so when I think about that strategy of targeting our customer segment, you know, we really can speak to a very broad audience, but at the same time, you know, we want to be very intuitive and be listening to her and make sure that, you know, we're serving up things that she's going to get excited about. You know, we also are really obsessed about our customer, and you know, and when you think about e-commerce, it's something where sometimes it feels like it's a very one-way conversation, but through a lot of new platforms, through email and Instagram and Facebook Live, you have these opportunities to actually start to form a relationship with that customer as you're starting to understand the segments and who they are and what excites and interests them, and really begin to build on that relationship. So, you know, we focus on those two pieces when we're looking at our customer as a whole, and then we want to make sure we're meeting them where they are. And, you know, that absolutely hits home when you're talking about millennials. You know, they're on the go, they're busy, they're very connected to technology, and so how do we find moments to surprise and delight and be where they are? And you know, one of the forefronts of our business has been our mobile apps. We spend an enormous amount of time and technology and talent in that space. And 65% of our customers today are on the go and shopping on our mobile apps at Zulily. And so it's being where they are and making sure that we're offering, you know, product tutorials or really engaging through Instagram or doing Facebook Live to just really kind of bring the products and the brands to life.
So I noticed as you were speaking about your customer, you often refer to her as her. So I'm guessing the vast majority of your customers at Zulily are women?
Yeah, they are. You know, it's one of the things that has evolved with our company and our brand has been an expansion beyond just children's clothing and apparel, and really starting this broader conversation with her and being able to offer up everything from apparel and shoes to home and kitchen and pets and outdoor. I'm an avid gardener, and we have a lot of just wonderful live plants, bulbs, and bare roots that we're, serving up to that garden aficionado out there. So it is a her for us, and she is unique and different and really enjoys this experience of shopping.
So you mentioned some of the different ways that you're engaging with your customers: social media, email, your app. So you talk about the treasure hunt experience too when they get on Zulily, whether it's your website, your app. What behaviors are you seeing in terms of the different customer segments that you have? And we go back to millennials. How do they maybe compare to, to an older customer? Or, what are the differences you're seeing in the buying behaviors and the browsing and shopping behaviors of your different customers?
Yeah. Well, because e-commerce is endless shelf space, it does really allow us to have several very different perspectives and ways that we can be talking to our customer, and being able to utilize some of the personalization engines to serve up what our customer has told us in the past they're interested in seeing or shopping. And so when I think about being able to talk to a millennial customer, there's this opportunity to serve up maybe very unique, quirky product or product that is on trend but still very unexpected. And one of the segments that we recently did was a Facebook Live piece during our Pet Week where we had a woman come in with her pet chicken, and that chicken was demoing one of our chicken swings, which I guess if you're an urban chicken farmer, it's a must-have item. And she popped that chicken up onto that swing, and, it was really a very fun, unexpected, kind of organic experience on Facebook Live. And that resonates with this younger customer. Again, they want to have a very unique perspective on their personalization of themselves and their lifestyle and their home. And, this is something that just gets them very excited and really engaged. But at the same time, we're serving up really well-known brands that, customers either grew up with or being introduced to the first time. So, a great one that comes top of mind is Vera Bradley. So, my mother, my grandmother all had in their closet at least one, if not several, Vera Bradley bags. It's a beautiful line of branded product, but at the same time, it's very edgy and fashionable, and it's something that's resonating with our younger customer as well. So sometimes you're bringing old in and you're reintroducing it to a younger audience, and they're getting just as excited and passionate as my mother was, 30 years ago.
Yeah. So you're constantly monitoring the behavior and collecting data about your customers and how they shop, what they're buying. I'm imagining that's influencing your merchandising strategy and the decisions you're making in terms of the experiences you're offering, the products that you're offering. Can you talk a little bit about kind of how you're using that information, that data, and how that's kind of impacting and changes made to your merchandising strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things, though, I just want to put out there, because I do think, for myself personally, this is critical, but our customers do need to set up an account and sign in to be a part of our platform. And, we then really begin to leverage this extraordinary data with real-time sales to be able to help predict and build out the best assortments. And so with that, we have these opportunities with a live sale today that's going on to go in and see real time how many units are selling, which items are selling, and be able to react immediately by actually adding incremental inventory into the event to serve up to the customer. But in the same token, we're able to take more of a historical view and say, where are the trends and where are the patterns that we're seeing? And one of the areas in particular that I had been thinking about and preparing to talk to you today, Joe, was we've really started to build out this emerging home business, and decorative home was probably one of the first areas that we entered into. And as we started to learn and watch our customers' shopping behaviors in this space, we found that she had an affinity for pets. You could put an assortment of products in home decor up, and she was gravitating to that dachshund or that bulldog. I mean, French bulldogs were so popular. Or, really loved kitschy signs that talked about silly things that their cat might have done the night before. And so as we watched this sales pattern begin, we realized that not only could we start to curate very pet-centric sales events on our site each day, we could actually lean into more pet products overall. Today on the site, there's at least 5 different events that, while some of them are very subtle, are very pet-centric. And again, that's because we're listening to our customer and we're hearing that she has a passion and an interest to, take care of her pets, display her pets, wear shirts that talk about her love for her pets. And all of those are very vast, different types of product categories, but they all have a common thread, and that's going back to their beloved French bulldog.
Yeah, so that's a great segue. I was going to, next ask about specific product verticals that are really showing, greatest growth for Zulily and an opportunity for the business. It sounds like pets and, building that community around pet lovers has really been a focal point in what you guys are trying to accomplish.
Yeah, so Joe, one of the areas that's been really exciting for us to see grow as we've been listening to our customer is our personalization space. So again, it really pulls together some of the things I've talked about earlier where, our customer wants to have a unique identity. They want to find and discover something very personal and very specific to, either their own purchase or as a gift for someone, a friend or a family or a wedding they might be attending. And the personalization category has really lent itself to this very unique discovery space because you can make it so intimately personal. We have everything from very cute, kitschy pet tags, if we kind of stayed in the pet lane, all the way to personalized luggage and towels and dinnerware. We personalize pretty much every product in your house. We are able to either put a name or a monogram or a saying onto it, and that has proven to be a really strong growth area for us.
You mentioned pet parents. Do you have also a lot of, mothers shopping the site? I guess moms is probably a pretty big demographic for you at Zulily.
Yeah, it is. I will say that was our early roots. That's who Zulily was at the beginning. We have evolved beyond just having a singular voice, though, for mom, and really do kind of talk about her and, where is she in her life and how can we be a part of that? When I think about the discovery and bringing something special to her every day, part of it is that, new product or that new brand or that new idea that maybe she wasn't even thinking about at the time. But then also there's this opportunity for us to solve problems. And, one of the things that a great merchant loves to do is to be able to pull product together that's solution-based. Now, a really strong growing area for us has been organization. And when you are thinking about getting your life organized, and whether it's your pantry or your bathroom or your garage, we're just finding that solution-based assortment that we're putting on sale is really resonating with moms and people alike, right? It's really ageless when you think about that category.
Yeah, right. So you mentioned you want to bring these products to the customers every day. What are the certain ways that you're engaging and communicating with your customers? Is it almost daily email? Is it email? Is it social media that you're engaging? What are kind of the channels where you're getting this messaging across to your customers?
Yeah, well, I'd love to say it's all of the above, but at the same time, it's what the consumer is wanting to receive from us. So our emails are a very important part of our daily touch point with our customer, and they do go out every morning. We do also send out incremental emails through the day depending on that particular customer and their interest. And if we have something worth sharing with them, that's very important that we make sure that we're not just filling their inbox. We have a very active Facebook Live presence and are having a lot of fun with that space. I think that, one of the things that's very Zulily is being real. We don't want to be over-rehearsed or over-practiced. So being genuine, our customers are smart and they pick up on it, but they're also getting a lot of great information about a product or brand they might not have known about. Instagram has been an important part of our daily touch with our customer, and just really reaching out and, through word of mouth and having, friends and families just talk about how fun and exciting it is to shop on Zulily every day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's back to your example of the chicken farmer with the Facebook Live. So bringing some fun to it, but explaining the value of a product, but also bringing some fun to the experience as well. And then my final question, Kerry, is what advice would you have for other retailers that are looking to optimize their merchandising efforts, and whether it be to a particular demographic such as millennials or whatever their brand's core target customer is, thoughts on how you can use product and sort of your merchandising capabilities there to the best of their abilities?
Yeah. Well, Joe, one of the things that, is really important, particularly in this space, is it needs to be more than just selling stuff. Again, there's that genuine connection that you have with your customer. I mean, you're given that opportunity to have that relationship. So I think if I were to provide that advice, it would be, starting off with a cornerstone of customer obsession. Every single touch point needs to be relevant to them. It needs to be a great experience. It goes beyond just listening and bringing in fun and exciting product, but standing behind the quality of the product all the way to the customer experience that we're offering our customers as they're shopping. I think the next piece is one that I've touched on, which is, be where she is. We're all busy. We're all moving quick. So, it's applying all of the tools that you have available to you, whether it's really leveraging your app, and in the case of Zulily, where we have 65% of our customers shopping through our app, it's like making that investment to make that easy and nimble and fun is really important. And just having that site experience be the right experience for your brand and your customer. But then I think the last one is one where I'm hearing so often, and I read in so many articles about storytellers. We're all trying to become great storytellers. And I think for us, we've taken a little bit different spin on this where, for us, it's about telling a story and telling it with intent. Sometimes you can provide too much information and flood the customer with, too much detail that it makes it very difficult for them to make the right, purchasing decision. So tell your story with intent, be transparent, give them good decision-making tools, whether it's images, bullet points, videos, to really make it a seamless experience and have them be excited to keep coming back.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. So I think we are going to close on that. So I want to take this opportunity to thank Kerry Gibson-Morris of Zulily for joining me today. Please check out our podcast channel page, mytotalretail.com/podcasts for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher, but make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. Thanks, and I look forward to you joining us on the next episode of Total Retail Talks.
This podcast has been brought to you by Synchrony. Because ambitions live everywhere. At Synchrony, we have the payment tools and technologies, promotional financing, and retail insights to help you reach yours. Learn more at synchronyfinancial.com.